Boom, 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 bum, 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 ba, 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 da, ba, 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 ba. Ah, yeah, that's mastered out. Oh, that's gonna be crazy. How cray is that? Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Winnie the Pooh,
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh. That was
Oh.
funny. For some reason, that reminded me of Winnie the Pooh. Um,
Woo.
are we actually live now? We
We're
are
live.
live now. We are?
Uh-huh.
Oh my
Yep.
goodness.
That was some
That's-
spicy. Uh,
what were you having there?
I'd say mabo tofu veggie ramen, like broccoli, cabbage, and onion, and garlic, carrots, and
Man.
mushrooms.
See, when people talk about uh when people talk about top ramen not being nutritious, they're not talking about what you're eating.
Yeah. Yeah. Top not the best. Um,
Oh, shit.
I get organic udon noodles from the store, pre-made, so they're not like from the top ramen.
So they're actually the ramen is actually not
Yeah.
that usual, not the usual ramen.
Yeah.
I know, man. They got I got the drums, you got the bass going.
Yeah.
Of course, there's no way we'd be able to sync it though.
Yeah. Kind of hard to sing and play, huh? The bass.
However, if we if we were just doing like noise music though, you know what I mean? Just like doing all crazy noise kind of music.
Like
That sweet. It occurs to me I should let everybody know what is going on here. Welcome to the Outside Freak Show. I'm your host Z, and that over there, all the way in the Colorado mountains, that's Chad Ventures. And I'm going to put my spectacles on, so just in case. Oh, Freaky Friday and stuff is here and says hi, aloha, Freaky
Freaky Friday
Friday.
stuff.
Today we will. I've come preloaded. Now you might think that because we've got our instruments all here and whatnot that we're about to do a jam session, which that might happen, but really, I came extremely preloaded for today's stream, especially, and you would know what I mean if you saw the title of the stream, which is the well, I thought it was kind of quite clever. I thought it was really quite clever. The trans takeover of America. And I mean it in every single way possible, because the trans takeover, meaning people from transcontinental worlds are have taken over America's as just a corporate holding of sorts, by
Mhm.
various corporate interests that aren't, they're from all over the place. So there's that trans.
Mhm. And then there's transportation.
Then there's the transportation. Yes, yes, the whole, mobile world, being mobile, and whatnot. So, yeah, there's that. But I was talking about people that are sort of call themselves trans and whatnot. I just noticed that it's everywhere. Like where I'm at, which is strange because this is, leans redneckish, but I'm told that this is actually a very liberal part, but I think, yeah. Anyway, that, but everywhere, even online, wherever uh, I follow at least two trans individuals on YouTube. One is Fran Lab, and it's sort of a electronics geek, uh, and this other one I sent you a link to. Now you might not have had a chance to check it out. I don't know. Did you see? I
I
think it's
didn't watch
called.
all the way yet.
Yeah, I think it's called Counterpoint. No, I didn't. I should have made clear it wasn't the content. It was the creator that I wanted you to just see. The
Mm.
content was rather here nor there. Well, somewhat here nor there. But I think it's rather interesting that because there's this whole thing that the trans, oh, here we go. Yeah, Ichi Senpai, keep on rocking. Can you play a little Spain, Chick Korea? Well, funny you should ask that question. No, I can't. uh, I don't remember. I don't remember how that song goes. I know it's a great song though. Great Chick Korea song. I think Stanley Clark was probably playing the bass. That's cruel to ask somebody holding the bass to play a Stanley Clark.
Yeah,
Like
I need
what?
to find more, bassists to emulate so I can learn more on bass because I'm fairly new to the bass. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Now, uh, now this is very Spinal Tap here. I don't know if you can hear my hear me. I
I
don't
can
know if you can hear it.
sort of, but I can't really hear it. If
Are
that,
you wearing it? Are you wearing an earpiece?
no, I'm not.
That's probably why I think here. Let me take my earpiece out and then go on.
Oh, now I can.
I was playing Backwoods. I don't know if you ever that song Backwoods. Take me to your backwoods now. Yeah. Oh no no. What lick was that?
I was just trying to copy you.
Oh.
I learned the picking up a new instrument, learn new things. So I learned their bass line. That's kind of fun. But, yeah.
Turn my volume up. There we go. Much better.
Oh, I'm in a half step down from on the tune.
Frank Gambale, yeah. Ichi Senpai says I can recommend listen first look from Frank Gambale, Stuart Ham, and Steve Smith. Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm gonna have to take a listen. Yeah, I gotta tell you, Chad, you reignited my love for the bass.
I did. You
Well,
start.
look at your bass. Look at your show your bass. Yeah, see, I mean, I have
Oh,
the white one. You know,
I see.
I'm like, I'm like, damn, man, I got to get my bass back. I got new strings on here too.
Yeah, well, it, yeah.
So the music took over. Here I wanted to talk about how the trans are taking over the world, and it's a good thing. I don't care. I don't mind. I'm a friend to the trans. Uh, I wanted to get serious and talk about certain things. Well, pseudo serious, because there's this whole thing like we're not confused, right? So if the trans people say that they're not confused, then they should take over because I'm confused. we're all confused. I'm confused. I don't know about you. So if they're like saying that they're not confused, have at it. You go, girl. What I love about the bass and what I was famous for back in road school, because there's a lot of big hair guys, is, you know, I would do stuff like,
Play like a guitar.
yeah, but I can't. It's not quite as powerful. You know, on guitar you kind of pick it, right? Yeah.
Right.
But I guess you know, from playing classical guitar, I think that's where that really comes in handy. You know.
Yeah. Doing 3 fingers?
What's that?
Are you using 3 fingers or just the 2?
Just 2. Yeah, unless I'm doing like one of these, like.
That's advanced.
We'll do one of
I'm
these.
still trying to like, on this thing.
Yeah. Check this riff out, man. Check this riff out. Nope. Yeah.
Or is it
I'll do it high. I'm playing in the high register because it's a lot easier to hear, but it's all in G, so it's just an octave lower to play it for real. Let me get this on air. Then you can kind of pop it.
I need to get better at slapping.
Cause you will see you. Hello and thank you. Here you go. Let me see. Let me see if this is this will work. Nice. That's the riff, right? And here's the. Man, that's gonna be so cool when we can actually do that. You know, for reals.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but
I'm so good at the bass, man. Like, I've been feeling a lot better. You know, it was hard for me at first because I wasn't so used to listening to the low. Every now and then, the real low still kind of like blend like a quarter of a half step in my head or something like that, you know? So it's kind of weird. But lately I've been a lot better about hearing the notes better and like really listening to that lower frequency, you know? Is it's been taking some bit, but will scoo. Will scoo.
hey, listen. Without looking at it, I rate it a 100. But no, I will check it out actually, but not right now. But hey, I might even on our next stream, maybe. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I really like the bass for solos. So
Yeah, it's been kind of cool. Yeah,
yeah,
it's got an interesting focus, is what I think I should say, with soloing with the bass. You know.
Crossed. I like Washburn guitars. I've never played a Washburn bass though. But one of my first and favorite guitars, little mini guitars, is a Washburn. Really nice. Yeah, the problem with the bass solos is not many other people like them. You know, I mean, I got to admit, even when Rush, I loved Rush, I loved Geddy Lee and all that, but yeah, I think what was it? You know, when he went into that like guitar, the bass solo, it's like, it's like that's when you kind of just rest and wait for the guitar solo to come in, right?
Yeah.
Mostly because the frequencies are really too low to you know, like you said, a lot of people can't hear those lower frequencies very clearly, so it's tends to be mushy, you know. And what happens is that it really shows you how the bass is really like this lower frequency that the guitars lay on top of, because then when you link it all together, you very much can hear the bass because it's alluded to by the by at least two notes from the guitar. Like, if you play an interval on the guitar, there's an eluding, you're going to elude to a bass note and allude to an upper note as well. So when you put that note there, it carries everything. It doesn't necessarily, and this is true of music for a while up until more recently, where you have the really intricate EQ going on with bass, but even still, I mean, it's still really hard to hear bass. Bass is something that you feel and that carries and delivers everything that's on top of it, you know.
Yeah, I got that visual. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I played. Good. Yeah, I love that funk riff, because there's a lot you can do. You can kind of tap, slap it. Kind of thing.
Yeah. I have to play it weirdly because I'm tuned down.
But it's just using that little hammer, kind of get a very piano effect, Cross says it's an old 80s model bass and managed to find one in a pawn shop. Shoot, what is that song? Here we go. If I played Metallica, I would need a pick. I think I'd have the down tune too, right? Something like that. What's that one that goes, I'm trying to play Master of Puppets, but I can't even think of how that goes in my head. Yeah, Master. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Oh, now you got me going. You know what I did learn? I learned like the first couple Megadeth albums I learned on the bass because I was going to play for those guys before Dave Mustaine went into rehab. I was actually set up to do an audition for those guys. So I learned those 2 albums. I can't remember any of the songs or anything like that, but I'm sure I could play them if I heard the songs again, you know. Shit, what were those Megadeth songs? Yeah, but Master of the Puppets, quite honestly,
Album.
is the only Metallica song that I would play or could play because I don't listen to Metallica. I love that Master. When that album came out, I really enjoyed it.
I got this Megadeth album from or CD from thrift store.
Which one is that?
It's called Hidden Treasures.
Oh, must be like outtakes or something.
Yeah. Oh, no. Sky, Breakpoint, Go to Hell, 9 Ways to Die, Paranoid, Diadems, and Problems. I actually haven't listened to the CD just yet either.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, for me, the first 2 albums were good, but I couldn't really follow them after the first 2 albums. Not like Meshuggah, man. Meshuggah is one of those bands that just holy
Keeps on giving.
I couldn't even hum a Meshuggah tune. Meshuggah is so badass. Oh my god. There's this song by Meshuggah. I would have to detune really. It's By the Ton, a song by Meshuggah called By the Ton. But it's just like all over the place on the bass. It's like, oh. Yeah, kind of a real dissonant. Lots of big jumps. Really good. So yeah, the I guess we really cut to the chase on the whole trans subject. I'm gonna have to change the title because this really ain't about trans. I guess it seems like people are all upset because they don't want the trans to turn their kids trans because they'll have programs in schools that will turn your kids trans. Did you know that?
I don't know that.
I want to know where this is happening. I would like to know where the trans schools are making kids trans, giving them hormone pills. I'd like to know where that's happening. Because that seems to be why they hate the trans. Because the trans are different. It's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, yeah, no, of course not. Of course, no kids turn kids trans. So if that's happening, then whoever's doing that, you stop it, right? You don't do that. I think that it's not really about that. I'm thinking it's about them intuitively knowing, but not knowing, but intuitively knowing that the trans will take over.
It will be a transition.
There's a great transition going on, and they're taking over, and you know it, and you're upset about it. Now you're clutching your kids going, don't turn my kids into successful trans people. I don't want my child to be a successful trans. Because here's the thing. You ain't going to be trans unless you got lots of money and you're really smart.
You do need a lot of money for that, huh?
Chords sound so good on the bass too. Oops, I think I'm out of tune. What's going on here?
Yeah, you know, the bass is really the way I arpeggio things.
Say again?
Like it has like changed my perspective on how I arpeggiate chords. You know.
Ah, yeah. There we go. Now we're back. Back in tune. Let's see. What is that? What is that tune doing? Oh no. There it is. Check this riff out. I'm playing it slow. And wrong. So let me see. Play it on the with a pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
It's so weird in a
You
different
know,
tune. You have to compensate for it.
when you if you ever record bass, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna need to record with a pick.
Huh.
Yeah, because the biggest problem when you're recording bass is the biggest problem that humans have. The audio gear has the same issue. Is the frequency is muddied, right? So when you record, it gets the attack and
Oh. I see.
picks up the attack. Whereas when you're playing live with a band and whatnot, again, your job isn't really to be out front necessarily, right? So you can kind of put the bass, let the guitar take care of the attack. That's frequency, right? But when you want to be able to control the bass frequency, it's almost impossible unless you have an attack present, right? It gets so muddy and so washy when you record stuff when you play it with your fingers. It's really interesting.
Hmm.
So it behooves you to learn how to play with a pick every now and then. And then even sometimes like when you're in jam sessions and whatnot, the only way to kind of cut through the noise is to sometimes,
Yeah.
it cuts through. A lot of punk rockers use bass.
I've actually never played the bass with a pick yet. It feels kind of nice playing with a pick. Well, I mean, probably because I pick with my guitar all the time, but
Right. Yeah, it sounds nice too. I mean, I was just listening
yeah.
to it right now. I can hear the notes now
Mm.
because the attack is letting me know what note that is.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's not woo 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 woo. It's dum 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 dum.
Yep. How do I mess that? There we go. At the that little open jam that I host, this will play the song "Nutshell," Alice in Chains, and I was like, oh, I need to learn the bass part for it, so that way, like, we don't all suck when we're up there, you know? So I learned the bass part for it, and what we were all jamming on. We had a keys, acoustic, bass. Some dude came out with a saxophone, and then a guy was on the electric guitar, but he didn't art. Just had a key, but dude, yeah, it was fun. It was really cool to have the saxophone player out. Good stuff.
Um, yeah, I really like being a bass player and playing like in jams that are more like blues oriented jams and whatnot, where I don't like being a blues. I don't like playing blues as a drummer. Yeah, not good. But for bass, although I take that back, if I was the bass player, not to be pompous or anything, if I was the bass player, then I would like to be a blues drummer. But then I don't quite know if it would stay the blues by then, you know. So, so but in blues, you only have to learn like you've got shuffles, and then you've got the delta blues. You got these variations of blues, and there's only so many variations of blues. And then as a bass player, you really can play like anything. You might not play exactly the lines that particular bass player played, but you can get the job done easily. Whereas like rock songs, you got to know what the progressions are, and and
Mm-hmm.
maybe what the little bass licks are in those songs. Yeah. Therefore, it's kind of hard to find bass players because bass players, for that genre, it's hard to find like a rock bass player because rock bass player doesn't want to play somebody, you know what I mean? So that was the first thing I had to become as a bass player when I was in bands, is because I was originally a drummer in bands, you know.
Uh,
And when I lost, I would lose bass players, and so I was finally like, I could find a drummer. I could even teach a guy how to play my drum parts, right?
yeah.
Yeah, but nobody was interested in learning the bass parts because they're boring. They're unless it's I don't know. It's hard. It's always been hard to find bass players.
The bass, I don't know. I think at first look, it seems boring to speak, but then like once you like, get into bass, it's actually like it's totally completely underrated, and a lot
Yeah,
of people
it
underrated.
essentially ties the rhythm to the melody and harmony, and
Yeah,
without it, there's like a huge space in between those sonic frequencies, like the drums are low sonic frequency, but then all the other instruments are this mid to high sonic frequency,
yeah,
and the drummer a lot of times likes to take credit for being the leader of the band, but I really think it's the bass player because the bass player is able to change and dominate both the rhythm and the melody and even the harmony.
and
Like
on.
like typical Primus. Primus doing lots of harmony and rhythm and melody.
The bass on leader.
What was the the classic that you have to learn if you want to get good at slapping? This is the classic. It's a see, get the whole thing in here, but it's just a octave, and then four. So then it's on this hand it's a right that bone, and then
Wait, a little bit slower. It's kind of it glitches out right as you do the bep bop. Damn, it still does it. Your kung fu hands are too fast. The recording of Speed of Light can't do it. Are you slapping with the thumb like that?
yeah, pull with the finger, slap with the thumb. Yeah.
Pull with. Okay, are you pulling with this finger or this finger? You're pulling with this finger. Okay.
And so you could kind of like, if you wanted to tap it out, you could tap it. You could go. But I like to slap it. I like to slap and tap.
So is it the notes are those the notes?
Yep.
Okay. On the are you slapping over here, or over here?
Up, up, close to here because this is where you're getting the percussive effect. If I did it down here, it would be kind of muddy. So.
All right.
Here's a good exercise for you too, by the way. But definitely learn this, get that down, and then also this exercise. Anywhere on the neck, use your high up, but you're doing this, right? You're doing a hit, you're doing a pull, a hit, and a tap. So it goes
pull, a hit, and a tap.
Yeah. So it will sound like this.
Yeah. I have to work up that.
Yeah, you got to make sure each note gets
Yeah.
precise because it can get muddy, you know. But that riff, that's just a classic kind of bass. Certain songs are great to learn in order to master certain skills, you know. And I think for Slap, that Chili Pepper song is classic. You know? Just to see the look on the face, fuck 'em, just to see the look on the face. Fuck 'em, just to see the look on the face. Fuck 'em, just to see the look on the face. Fuck 'em, just to see the look on the face. Fuck 'em, just to see the look on the face. That song is actually called Freaky Styling. That's what off the first Chili Peppers album. Then the next song on that Chili Peppers list is definitely "Get Up and Jump." That and that's just octaves, you know, the octaves. Get up, jump, get up, jump, get up, get up, get up, jump on up, jump on down, jump around.
I still have some like technique to work on. Gosh. Yeah.
That's what I love about bass is you can just I love approaching bass like a drummer because I can just kind of pick a couple notes or one note even, Yeah.
Yeah.
And even in bass playing in general, that's the best thing to do is like pick two good notes and play them really in the pocket,
Yeah.
Groove.
Yeah. That groove.
Which lends itself to alcoholism. Because when you're drunk, you're not like trying to fit in all these notes and stuff. You're like, oh, right. There's there's a great song, I think, to learn the bass fretboard, which is a Sly and the Family Stone song, also covered by Chili Peppers. But it's like. Oh. Oops. Oops. You heard that song before?
I haven't.
It's if you want me to stay, I'll be around today to be a failure for you to see. Yeah,
I don't
Sly and
think I ever.
Family Song, man. That's such a great song. But really, it's all over the bass, man. It really helps you to learn the pattern because with guitar playing, it's all about the pattern. So if
Yeah.
you master like one key and can really on the bass arpeggiate in one key up and down the neck and improvise that arpeggiation up and down the neck in one key, you can do it in any key.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You just have to, pose the positioning in your head to what
Yeah.
key your major or minor, depending on what note you're going by, your 1 or your 6 is.
And so that's one of those classic songs that it's all over. It's as much all over the neck as you want, but you have to stay in the groove in order to be there, Like. It's like a little puzzle,
Yeah, I was when I was yesterday. I was just kind of playing what I heard on the bass out of out of whatever was in my head, and I was really liking what key was I liking? I was really liking C, playing in the key of C, because you can get really like well, I guess right now I would be in C. I would be.
You mean, the key of C, not the tuning of C, right?
Yeah. I've been really liking getting into like the Phrygian mode and just kind of like doing that. Yeah, digging it. because then it always brings back to that. Yeah, I really like that note. Coming back on. Anyways.
Well, you know, a nice thing about C, when I think of C, I think of the key of G, right?
Yeah.
And G is a great key for the bass, you know, and especially for the bass because you're not as low as you can go if you're playing G. So if the song starts in G, you've got a place to go down to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say one of the most important things as a bass player is to master the key of G. Master the key of G because the instrument seems to the instrument Western music is the tonality is C, right? That's the C standard is C. So essentially we're talking about this instrument G, which is in modally still diatonic, right? You know,
Right. Right.
so,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, like and again, whatever you learn in G, because if you're learning everything in G, like for instance, if you're learning in E, there's only one place on the neck it's going to look like this. Everywhere else on the neck, it looks totally different, right? So if you learn G and you master G in all keys, see, this is sort of like shortcuts instead of like geeking out and learning all the different scales and all the different keys. No. Learn one key. So, and in my opinion, this is definitely opinion, but in my opinion, learning G and learning G in every tonality, right? G diminished, right? And G minor. All the different G's. Then that really, to me, unlocks the whole bass. Because then someone says, okay, the song's in A. Boom. My hands know exactly what to do. I don't have to think of it,
Yeah.
So there are these shortcuts that they're not going to teach you in music school because they need you to stay there and pay. but,
Yeah.
but when you have, I got lucky because I 2 weeks out of music school, I got hired to play professionally. And I had to learn, because I was not a bass player. I was 2 weeks fresh into being a bass player. So I had to learn stuff quickly. And it was a great lesson. I definitely, at the end of music college, I was able to outplay anybody, in the school, mostly because I had to play. I was playing live, so I just had to be able to play. And like when we did ensembles, if I showed up late, I'd get there and they'd all just be sitting there. The teacher wouldn't even want to just do the ensemble. You go, no, just wait, because you just didn't want to have to deal. Because somebody, when you're a music teacher and you have an ensemble, somebody has to be able to play it. It's excruciating, right?
Mhm.
So I was able to go in there and at least lay down the bass, So, like you said, man, the bass is a very underestimated, man.
Yeah, it
Like,
is.
if in certain musics, if the bass ain't there, then it's just the music ain't there.
Yeah,
And
there's
especially because again, we're talking about who's the leader of the band. Well, the drummer. A lot of times, the biggest problems with the drummer is he can't count to four,
ooh,
right? And so
yeah,
the bass player is the bridge between the drummer and the guitar player, who definitely can't count to four. I mean, it's pretty profound when you think about it. The bass
yeah,
player is very much responsible for four.
yeah. Ironically so.
We are the four, not the drummer. The drummer's like a oh, 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 right? They think,
Boot. Yeah,
down,
yeah,
kick on the one, snare on the two, right? Kick on the 1-3,
yeah,
snare on the 2 and the 4. Don't ever tell
yeah,
that to a drummer. That would confuse the fuck out of them. It's just
yeah.
go ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, go, 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 go. No, that's a
I guess
real. This is a real story. I'm not even making this up. What were you saying?
the 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and.
Oh, forget about that.
My old guitar slash music teacher, he laid it out really easy for me. He like essentially laid out almost like a ruler, where you say you have, the 1 and your 2. Let's just say the 1 and 2, and then in between is your up, your 1, your upbeat. See, he essentially put it in between like downbeat, upbeat, downbeat, and then showed the increments of syncopation between the downbeat, the upbeat, and then back to the downbeat. And that was a really nice visual for me because then it looks like a ruler. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you can just, oh, okay, so there's like a kata, but right before the second downbeat, it's kata, not
Yeah.
kata, but kata.
Yeah, there's some nice metronomes out there. Modern metronomes. You can set different increments and different sounds to different increments, which is quite cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And now that I'm learning bass, it's really interesting how it fits to like certain songs that I'm listening to. I need to be on time. If I'm not on time, it don't sound right. If I'm not on time, like I don't bring the piece together. Then it just sounds like someone just went or something. It's just bad.
Well, funny man. When I was gigging professionally in Hollywood in the VIP lounge scene, I would get so drunk that I would just go on stage and turn my bass off down. Like I turn it off, and I'd just be like,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, guilty. I did it.
I haven't had that pleasure to do yet.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean by alcoholism is real. It lends itself to alcoholism, because it is like playing one note, one I eventually got so out of hand I would trip over because I'm not playing anymore. I got the volume down. I wasn't even playing, so now I'm just posing, moving around. Then I would trip over the drum set and fall over the drums, and the drums would all fall down.
Oh my gosh. And everybody was like, yeah.
I mean, this is like I'm playing for Axl Rose and Billy Idol and guys like that, you know. So this wasn't like a cover band guy. This was like a big gig that I was fucking up. But everybody's partying, you know. It's a VIP lounge, so like drugs and everybody's partying,
Yeah.
whatnot. So it kind of worked. But you know, that's the thing, man. When you're in the band, you're not allowed to get that fucked up.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're the entertainment, man. You got to keep you got to keep it going.
yeah, keep it together.
Yeah, the minor third in the bass is really nice, man. You know, like going. Yeah, just any minor third, you know, but because the minor third that minor third wants to resolve. So if you resolve it from the bass end, you're going like. But that like yeah, just do a chromatic descent, right? And then on the third one, just resolve it so it's a major third.
It almost reminds me of like a jazz phrasing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, something that I think I wish somebody taught me earlier in music is to focus on intervals. Even in your playing, focus on intervals because intervals are way more important than like learning chord shapes and learning all the different chords because all the different chords will reveal themselves once you learn all the intervals. And see, the intervals are very, you can hear intervals, you can play intervals, they're limited. There's not a million of them, right? And so from having command of intervals, if I had known this, I'd be a much better player. If I had a greater command of intervals in my playing, then I would have command again of all the chords because it's very easy when you play an interval, like if you just you can add stuff on top of that interval, and it's easy to hear what you could add to that interval. You know what I'm saying? You go, oh, I'm going to play a minor third. So you hear, like, I think naturally, once you hear that minor third, you hear all the notes that could go to that. But if I was playing like a minor third, like if I was playing all of those notes, then there's just a lot of notes. You got a lot of notes that you're dealing with. It's cheap and easy, I think, to grab a handful of notes and bang out a chord. Whereas if you got an interval going, right? And this is especially, see, I'm finding out this on the guitar, but it's especially significant on the bass, because the bass should be playing more intervalactically than chordally, you know. But I think that in my guitar playing, I would be a much better chordal player if I just focused more on intervals, because then it's like, you know, playing a C, like on a good example is when you're a bass player and you're looking at sheet music or something, and something says a C minor. Well, you just know that you don't have to play the flat five or the minor. You're still on the. You're not playing. See, that wouldn't work, right? But you're playing the five. And here's an right now you've left that. It's very obvious what that melody is and what those notes are. You know what I mean? And as a bass player, now it's like, okay, now you need to play more of a mixolydian sort of a thing, right? So now I know I'm like, right? And I don't need to know, like, oh, let me see, mixolydian. Yeah, you just, as a bass player, your job it was so much easier because major or minor on the bass is the upper or lower tetrachord, major or minor, and a lot of the minor tonalities, the upper tetrachord or the lower tetrachord is the same, right? It doesn't, you know, the 1/5. I'm playing the major of the lower tetrachord and what could be a major of the upper tetrachord. Yeah, it doesn't matter because that's not my job. It's not my job to play that third, right? Kind of a thing. That's why I really like that minor third thing for just creative purposes. Jump to bucket to the bone. Jump, take a and now I find it fascinating that you can play, like, to me, and I think to other people too. Yeah, I think to musical people, even if they just like music. If I play something like, it implies a rhythm, right? Because it just framed an interval in time and space. Yeah, real easily. And that's the bass player's job, is to sort of stimulate rhythm,
Yeah. I should use my interval trainer more. I used to like use my it's called an ear trainer, but essentially it just gives you like the sounds of different intervals, and then you have to like that sounds 4, or that sounds like your minor third, minor fourth, or excuse me, minor sixth, whatever it might be, and it has like your 7 dominance as well, and yeah, I should use that more often now, especially since I'm doing this now. Using the bass more.
The whole trick of learning a song in order to learn an instrument is actually sort of a take on something I learned from Grove School in order to learn intervals. So if you ever want to shortcut your interval lessons, then what you do is you take a popular song for each interval. So like that's somewhere over the rainbow somewhere, right? So I know now that sound is an octave, but I know it's an octave because I know somewhere over the rainbow is an octave, and so I'll always know what an octave sounds like. So then you go,
that's right. Yeah, the
so
Star Wars.
Right. Star Wars.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
So what song is dun dun?
Mary had a no. What was the third? I forget. I can't think.
So anyway, you can even, that would be a great thing to look on Chat GPT for. Like, what songs start with the interval of a third? What song starts with the interval of a minor third? What song starts with So now they're all songs that you know immediately. And then it translates. Then they'll cut all the nonsense of interval training. Yeah. Because I did hours and hours of interval training, and you're not allowed to go forward until you get your intervals right. And so that was the big trick, is you just learn, like so like an interval of a 4. So that's that Patriot song. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, wasn't that Star Wars? That's before.
And you know, I would think that for these days, you could just choose your own songs that you actually are familiar with. Like, I think
Yeah.
this is Rage Against the Machine interval. Like, oh, figuring out a minor nine. That would be an interesting one. Like, what has an interval of a minor nine? Minor nine. Henry, I'm sorry, I don't know any Green Day songs.
Don't want to be an American idiot. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Be a slave controlled by the media. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. There you go.
Something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, if you asked me to play like Descendants, I would probably know Descendants. Oh, man, want to learn how to play bass pick? Learn some Descendants songs.
Oh, hey. I
Yeah,
love Descendants. Yeah, I could do
yeah,
that.
but that bass player is
That was
incredible.
great.
Yeah. What is the
I need to
I'm
plug
a loser. God, they're so
for
frenetic. It's hard. It's hard to think of a bass line. Usually, I think all the Descendants bass lines are pretty much parallel with the guitar player. Pretty much just playing all the bass notes of the power chords.
I'll do some Descendant emulation then. I've been trying to figure out some band. Oh, there's a band I listen to. They're a band called Morphine, and they consist of, I believe, just a drummer, a bassist, and a sax player.
They opened up for me once.
Oh, you told me this before. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not familiar with that one. I'm not familiar with any of them really.
It's a song called Scratch. Starting over from scratch. Anyway, you're frozen. Side.
What's that?
You're frozen. Oh, at least on
Am I
my
still
side.
frozen?
Yeah, you're still frozen.
Damn.
You look like you're about to lay down a gnarly bass lick.
Well, I'll play a gnarly bass lick so that way. So,
Now you really look like you're about to throw a gnarly bass.
all right, man. Well, I guess that's our sign to that's our cue to sign off, huh?
There you are.
We really do got to figure out a way to get the audio. I mean, it might be a pay thing. It might be a pay thing, but yeah. But you're too busy right now anyway, so we'll use that as an excuse.
I also need some
Funds, yeah, funds. It's always funds.
fun
Time
thing.
and money, of course. Time and
Funds.
money.
It's not fun after you add a D to it.
No, not even fundy.
No, it's not.
Not even fundy. So
Uh,
yeah, because this is I'm quite sure this stream was only interesting to you and I.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to listen back to it and see what the timing actually sounds like.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it'll be. I have no idea, but yeah, man. Because let me show you. I don't know if you see, but you see my amp setup. My amps. Yeah, there it is. My amps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the amp setup is. That's Mondo. That's huge.
Yeah, no screen on it either. It doesn't need one. It's just gonna blast loud. Very nice.
So and then I'm sitting at
Yeah.
the drums. I'm sitting at the drum set. So I literally, with the looping and with everything all connected, I could I could sound like a whole band is what I could sound like. But,
Yeah.
yeah, but like I said, without the looping, I don't like that. But for practice purposes, man, it's nice to be. I'll lay down a bass part, lay down a 12-bar bass line, and then
Yep.
jam along and pick up the guitar and jam along to that. For practice
Yeah.
purposes, it's actually quite good.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah. So
I should make more use of my looper pedal. Actually, I just don't. Then I don't have use. I just haven't been making use of my looper pedal.
what pedal is it?
It's a looper pedal. It's
Right,
a Ditto.
right.
Yeah, it's a Ditto 2 looper pedal.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just haven't been making much use of it. I may have to soon because I'm supposed to do some instrumental gigs soon, and I'll see how they go.
Your acoustic
I'm gonna.
has a pickup, right?
My acoustic has what?
Your acoustic has a pickup, right?
Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah, so you can do, with acoustic guitar. I mean, there are, as you know, I have a certain. Yeah, I like the looper. I think you can do interesting things with the looper, but when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
electronics, I think it's stacking, creating weird noises and all that. That's what I like to do. I don't like to actually make 12-bar blues and jam along with. But if you're on the acoustic, there's so many cool things you could do of just
Yeah. I made use of my looper extensively when I was playing gigs in Missouri, and because there were a lot of songs where I only had to really like stop the loop for the bridge or the chorus or whatever it is that I'm stopping for, and then resume it on time. And it's cool because, like, for instance, the song "Waiting in Vain," summer's here, I'm still waiting there. Winter's here, I'm still waiting there. And then boom, hit the loop back in, and then I would have like a little bass line matched out with a little bit of percussion, and then the regular G major 7, C major 7 chords. And it's a lot of fun doing the thing.
But I really think that even if you just use the looper as a rhythmic element, and even didn't even bother with that other stuff. I don't have a pickup for mine, so I think somewhere along the line I'd like to pick up one. Somewhere it would be nice, because then I could take my little guitar and my little cube amp, and I can play those rhythmic parts.
Yeah. Like a mini cajon.
Yeah. Drone parts. That's true, right? You lay down a drone sort of a thing with the drum. Yeah. I just think I'm really trying to. I just any line that repeats itself, that's melodic or on a guitar or a bass, that gets stale.
Yeah, after like the second measure, it's like, okay.
Yeah. But rhythm is supposed to repeat itself. Everybody wants to hear the rhythm repeat itself. And you can, with loopers, you can add to the rhythm. So, at any point, if you want to alter the rhythm, that's permissible and works. But and here's the thing: even if you had a looper that you could change the bass line, and everything would change with you. Well, now you're just playing to a recording. Why not just play to karaoke?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, then why all the bother? But to actively be able to lay something that's artistically pleasing, rhythm works fine for that, for those loopers. So yeah, maybe I should put a pickup high on the priority list, so I can go out and busk with with an acoustic, busk with the acoustic out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a busking season coming in soon too. I should be able to still play on the little corner by the rock shop for the ice cream truck.
Oh, nice. Do you do it at night?
It's no, I do it during the day.
During the day?
I'll only on the weekends, and it'll kind of depend on my workload coming into this next term, paired with working 30 to 32 hours a week. So, yeah.
Well, you still have your youth and vigor, so
I do.
might as well spend it while you got it.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, I've been mentally preparing myself for these next couple months. Like, all right, so everything's piling up. I'm gonna have to work my ass off, and I'm gonna have to do 2 courses at a time for these next 2 months, and then I'm also still gonna maintain. Well, really, it's more like the Wing Chun and the music maintain me. If that makes any sense. And, and then just a big workload coming in.
Yeah.
And it's all right. I can deal with it. I can do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the music I think really helps the brain to practice the brain of great complexities and harmonies and rhythms and stuff like that. That all applies to life as well. So,
Indeed, yeah. Like some mornings, I feel quite Lydian.
you always feel Lydian. What the hell are you talking about? You walk Lydian. I'm pretty sure at this point.
I feel quite
No, at this point, if you look up Lydian in the dictionary, there's this picture of you smiling.
Ask ChatGPT, what does Lydian look like? And then just show.
Hold on, isn't that a Chad?
Oh,
So, anyway, hey, to kind of finish up on our very in-depth conversation about trans.
Right.
I think the thing I wanted to say, I guess to end it all, right? Because I came loaded with this stream and then didn't really even focus on it, but it's okay because I focused on it earlier. So like loaded questions. You ask a question, but you're just gonna, it's a loaded question.
Yeah.
But that is this. The on the redneck side of things, they're like, oh, they're confused. They're just confused. And I say, like I said, we're all confused. What do you try to say? You're not confused, and I agree. I think trans are as confused as anybody else, right? And probably different levels of confused, you know. But at least the trans are the ones that are showing more control, more intellect, more creativity, more humor, more wit than dumb fuck rednecks busting on trans people, So, well, I can see why you're a little upset, redneck, because these people outclass you in every single fucking way.
Yeah.
I can see how you're upset about it, because I bet you if they learn how to fight, they could probably kick your ass. I know there's plenty of mahoos in Hawaii that they'll whip your ass all day long.
So telling about that one that you seen, the Waimanalo.
Yeah. Hey, mokes don't even mess with mahoos, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think that, of course, I don't believe that anybody's trying to change your children. If they are, of course, that shouldn't happen. But I just don't believe that that's happening. That's absurd. Try and turn the children into trans. Well, if that's so, then my mother, who is a major right wing sort of person, right? My mother used to dress me up as a woman every freaking Halloween. And also, think about this. Men dressing up as women is ancient. Of course, we have a special thing in Wing Chun regarding men dressing up as women as well. But
yeah,
and
it's fairly common in historic Japan as well for the geishas to actually dressing and making up as women.
And same with the Europeans. The Europeans had that all that thing in mind. Where would Monty Python be without them dressing up in drag, right? I mean, so this whole thing of dressing up in drag uh, such an institution and such a there's like, think about it. The earliest joke in humanity had to be a man imitating a woman or a woman imitating a man. Well, either way. But we'll assume because the man had the club and would beat them over the head, that maybe it was the man that made the first joke, and it was like, or something. I don't know.
I can see that.
So yeah, you know,
Imitate people like, oh, this is how you sound. This is what you sound like.
Yeah, and then there's and for some reason, everyone I've met that was sort of phobic, they really imitate gay and trans people really well. Here's the thing. When it comes to trans, I think we all need to be as confused as the trans are, because the counterpoint, I think that's her, ContraPoints is the name of the one I've been listening to, and she, I think she refers to be referred to as she. So, but she has expressed an amazing amount of intelligence, creativity, and confusion regarding, because he got, I guess it was a guy that cross-dressed, then got the treatments, and I'm assuming maybe everything was done, got the full transition. I'm assuming, and apparently once he did that, he wanted to be with women. She wanted to be with women. But
Weird.
So then she got with a woman, right?
Yeah.
But then but she got with another trans woman. Once she got with the trans woman, she then wanted to be with a man. So she over time, she had to change the title. Like at first cross dressing, then gay, I guess, right? Cross dressing,
yeah.
Then a full transition into woman if there was no parts, right? Then a lesbian, but if you didn't ever call her a trans, then she wouldn't be a lesbian anymore if she was having sex with a woman. So that gets
right.
And then she got weird in her head about it and wanted to be with a man because she wanted to be normal.
Great.
And she said that her boyfriend was she goes, my boyfriend was a perfect Chad.
Love it, man. Oh yeah.
He really made me feel like the woman that I am. Like, oh wow. My God. Okay. So I understand the rednecks getting kind of nutty. Like, am I supposed to follow this conversation? I think it's fucking amazing because it shows a great like, for instance, this ContraPoints. She does everything. She does the filming. She does the set design. She does the script. She's the musician. She is incredible. I mean, an incredible species of a creative, and an engineering, both intellectually and creative, just really a notch above the likes of myself. you know,
Mm.
and and yet to express such confusion and such, and I'm like, oh my god. Well, I'm glad I'm just a lazy pothead, man. I ain't gonna, man. Why don't I get up and play more? Because you're a burnout, dude. That's why you're burnt out. Eat a pot pie and go to sleep, asshole.
Dude, no, I don't think you're a burnout. No way. I think a burnout would be someone who played a lot of music and just doesn't do it anymore, like at all. Like it was one of those like, oh yeah, about 20 years ago I used to play music a lot. Like that's pretty burnt out.
Yeah. Well, right now I'm going through a thing where I cannot wake up until 7 p.m. It's killing me. I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? Because I got a lot of plans, man. There's a reason why I'm here. I've got a lot of plans. I can't just be sitting around going, you know what I mean? And I can't. It's not. If I could sit around and just veg out, that would be a different story. But no, I'm sitting there and in my head going, "You gotta go. You gotta go. Go, 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 go." And I'm like, in my head, "Go, go."
That was a really great facial expression. Yeah.
But I gotta also remember it's summer is coming up, and remember that's the big. You do the transition, man. That's how you survive this stuff. You transition into the nighttime guy now. Now you do all the nighttime stuff, and try to lay around all day and whatnot. So I don't know. And again, trans. We're still keeping it trans here, just to fulfill the title of the stream. But yeah, transitioning from a day creature to a night creature. Yeah, yeah, that's just that's what you gotta do. I had a thought, I lost it. But, yeah. Oh, that's it. And then we'll end it with this. We'll end it with this. I find it absolutely fascinating that we can want to do a thing, yet do another.
Yeah.
I'm blown away by it. Like
Uh,
I'll be full on like, okay, this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. These are the things I want to make happen in life, baby. This is what drives me. This is what motivates me, baby. Yeah. And then or even worse, like, or, I don't know, like just like something like this, like or I don't know. How about something like this? Or no. How about no? I've got all this stuff I gotta do. Well, okay, but what about this? What about this? What the fuck is going on? Because
Yeah,
here's the thing.
I just
Nobody's going to tell me that this ain't happening to you. If you think this is not happening to you, then you're just not conscious that this is happening to you.
yeah.
You know, like at the end of your life, you're going to go, well, I actually did always want to learn how to play guitar. You know? Like, well, why the fuck didn't you? Well, you know, there was this. Well, what the fuck was that? I don't know. So, son of a bitch, huh? You know?
Yeah, indeed. That happens to me quite often.
It
When I
happens
know
to everybody. It's being conscious of it. That's it. You're just
Yeah. And
conscious.
then when I know that when I know that at a time it's not happening and I'm like doing things and I'm like getting things done, then right after that, it's like,
Yeah. Where's my underwears? I just put my underwears right on my head. It's what I have to do.
it's bad, man. It's really bad. Ah,
I know,
yeah.
man.
It's like for
And
instance, like
therefore, it blows me away because there are people. That's the thing. There are people. There's a lot of them. They wake up and they just do the thing.
yeah.
They do it for 25 years. Weekends off sometimes. Holy shit. I mean,
Yeah.
it blows me away. It honestly blows me away. I look at the guys that are working on this building and whatnot, and they're coming here on weekends. They put hours in, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm like, how, you know?
Yeah.
I inquire. I ask him, well, what you got a wife? No, I'm married. I'm like, oh Jesus. I'm like, no kids, not married. This is so I don't know. I think there are two types of people. There are people that are, oh, let's just call it. There's a slave class and there's a master class. I am obviously a master. I mean, it's just I don't think it's a thing that you just like, you know, well, it's a bloodline. No, it's not it's not bloodline. It's just a thing. It's just a thing. Some people have it, some people don't, you know. You could tell the
Yeah.
people that don't because the people that don't are getting up and they're doing the same damn thing every day. They're eating the same food, going and doing the same things every day.
Like, yeah.
You've frozen. So I should do a screenshot of this. Or maybe even, wow, what if I did this? Let me see if I can do this. There we go. There we go. Anyway, it's not working out. All right, hey, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining me, Chad Ventures. And I'll see you guys soon. All right.